Welcome to the new chapter Work, Power and Energy. Myself, Sesbhushan Vimvarpu, Assistant Professor in Physics, working at Sri Vasu Engineering College, Tadepalligudam, Andhra Pradesh. For any doubts and queries, you can contact in the below given number. Let us start with the overview of this chapter. What we are going to learn in this new chapter, that is the work, power and energy. We will be learning about the definitions of work, power and energy, definitions and equations of potential and kinetic energies, work energy theorem, law of conservation of energy, and proof for law of conservation of energy in case of a freely falling body and in case of a simple pendulum. Let us start with the definitions of work, power and energy one by one. Now, let us see first the definition for work. Work is said to be done when some force F is acting on a body and the body moves through a distance of S or D, whatever it is. So, work is said to be done when a force is applied on a body and the body moves through a distance S. Then it is said work is done. As seen in this animation here, some force is applying on this body and the body moves from this position to this position after applying some force F on it. So the body moves through a distance of D in this case here. Now consider a person who is pulling a weight with some force F like shown in this figure here. Now the person is pulling through using a rope here. So the force is acting along the rope here, but the body moves in this direction. It follows the vector. Since force is a vector, it follows vectors. And here we had also discussed that the work is a dot product or it's a scalar product. It is defined as the dot product of force and displacement. Force is in this direction and displacement is in this direction. Therefore, it can be written as work done W is equal to F, where F is force, S is the displacement made by the object here, and cos theta, where theta is the angle between force and the displacement. So it is a dot product of force and displacement. It is defined as W is equal to F dot S cos theta, where F is the force, S is the displacement, and theta is the angle between force and displacement. Since it is a dot product, it will be a scalar quantity and the SI unit is joules. Let us come to the second definition, that is power. Power is defined as the rate of work done. So that is defined as work is equal to work done divided by time. Since work done is a scalar quantity and time is also scalar quantity, power is also a scalar quantity. And the units for power is watt, denoted by capital W here. Sometimes power is also measured in horsepower, because before inventing the steam engines or the electrical engines, the power is measured. Since the engines or the carts are drawn by horses, it is measured using horsepower. So till today, power is measured in the form of horsepower. You can see engines, motors are labeled with HP, like quarter HP, that is 1/4 horsepower, half HP, that is 1/2 horsepower, and 1 HP, that is 1 horsepower. So horsepower has a different units here. In this case, we are measuring the mechanical horsepower. It is taken as 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts, or exactly it is 745.69 watts. We will round this figure and we'll consider it as 746 watts. So 1 horsepower or 1 HP is equal to 746 watts. It is useful in problems. Now coming to energy, energy is defined as the capacity to do the work. Energy is defined as the capacity to do the work, and it is classified as two types. One is potential energy and second one is the kinetic energy. Energy is nothing but it is the capacity to do the work, and that is called as energy. So it is the capacity to do the work. The units for energy is same as work done. That is, joules is the unit for energy also. And energy is classified into two types. One is potential energy and another is the kinetic energy. Let us first see the definitions for potential energy and the equation for potential energy. Potential energy is the energy associated with the mass and the position of the object. Consider an object which is at a height h from the ground here, as shown in this figure. Consider an object of mass m. This is the object of mass m. This is the object of mass m here. Let us think. The object mass is m here. And if the object is placed at a height of h from the ground, weight mg is acting vertically downwards. We all know that weight, that is also a force. Weight mg, where m is the mass of the body, g is the acceleration due to gravity, which is acting vertically downwards as shown in this figure here. So the definition for potential energy is the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its position. Now, from this figure, we will reduce the equation for potential energy. Now, as we all know that energy is equivalent to work done. So, from this example, work done is equal to force into displacement. The force here is the weight of the object mg. Therefore, mg into displacement. The object is displaced at a height h from the ground. Therefore, potential energy is equal to weight into height here. Displacement is height here and the force is weight here in this case. Therefore, potential energy is equal to mg into h or mg into h. As we had already discussed, the SI units for potential energy or the kinetic energy is same as that of work done. That is, it will be in joules. Now coming to the kinetic energy, in the previous case, the energy associated with the position and mass. Now here in kinetic energy, it is the energy associated with mass and the velocity of the object here, or the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion. Let us consider a body which is at rest, that is its initial velocity u is equal to 0, has attained a final velocity v and traveled a distance s as shown in this figure here. So its initial velocity u is equal to 0, final velocity is v, and the displacement covered in t seconds, let it be s here as shown in the figure here. Now, so the initial velocity u is equal to 0, final velocity is v, it has traveled a displacement s, and acceleration, since there is a change in velocity, there will be acceleration. Let the acceleration be a. Using these variables and substituting in the equation of motion, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. We will get v square is equal to 2as. Or if we take acceleration here, a is equal to v square by 2s. So this is the acceleration of the body in this case. That is, a is equal to v square by 2s. But we know that force F is equal to ma. Therefore, force F is equal to m into A is V square by 2S here. But work done, W is force into displacement. So this is the force term here, and this term into displacement S. That is the work done, which is nothing but the kinetic energy. Since energy associated with the velocity is called as kinetic energy, the work done here is equivalent to the kinetic energy here. So work done is equal to force into displacement. Displacement is S here. The force is mv square by 2s. S will be cancelled and you will get mv square by 2, or Ke is equal to half mv square. This is the derivation for kinetic energy. So we have learned two equations here, that is potential energy Pe is equal to mgh and kinetic energy Ke is equal to half mv square. So let us quickly go to the relation between kinetic energy and momentum. Now momentum is nothing but it is defined as the product of mass into velocity, or it is given as P is equal to m into v, where P is the term used for denoting momentum. P is equal to m into v, where m is the mass and v is the velocity of the object here. Let us draw the relation between the kinetic energy and the momentum here. Therefore, squaring this equation on both sides, we will get P square is equal to m square into v square. We know that kinetic energy is half mv square. Therefore, dividing the equation on both sides by 2m, we will get P square by 2m is equal to m square v square by 2m. Now, one m here and m cancels here. It comes out to be half mv square, which is nothing but the kinetic energy. Therefore, energy can also be written as P square by 2m. Therefore, now we have three equations here. First one is the equation for potential energy. It is also energy, which is equal to mgh. And second one is kinetic energy, that is half mv square. And here we got another equation, E is equal to P square by 2m, or energy in terms of momentum here. Therefore, energy is equal to P square by 2m, where P is the momentum here. Let us quickly go into work energy theorem here. Work is done is equivalent to energy. We already said that the capacity to do the work is called as energy here. Therefore, the work done on a body is equal to the change in the kinetic energies of the body. Let us consider a body which is moving with an initial velocity u here. Consider a body of mass m which is moving with an initial velocity u, has attained a final velocity v as shown in the figure. Since there is a velocity, the energy associated with this object will be kinetic energy. Therefore, since the velocity is u here, the kinetic energy will be half mu square. Since u is the initial velocity, it will be called as initial kinetic energy. Now, after attaining a velocity v, the energy associated with this object is the kinetic energy again here, and the kinetic energy Ke is equal to half mv square, since the velocity is v here, and it is called as the final kinetic energy. But according to the theorem, it is said that the work done is equal to the change in kinetic energies. The change in kinetic energy is nothing but final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. Let us write down that one here. Therefore, change in kinetic energy is equal to final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. The final kinetic energy is half mv square and the initial kinetic energy is half mu square, since the initial velocity is u here and the final velocity is v here. Therefore, substituting these values here, we will get half mv square minus half mu square. So half m, if you take half m as common, you will get half m into v square minus u square. But according to the third equation of motion, this term, that is v square minus u square, is equal to 2as. Therefore, writing 2as instead of v square minus u square, we will get half m into 2as. This is because according to the third equation of motion, which we have learned in kinematics, v square minus u square is equal to 2as. Therefore, we are writing 2as instead of v square minus u square here. So 2 cancels here and you will get ma into s. But you know that ma, mass into acceleration, is nothing but it is equivalent to force. Therefore, it can be written as force into s, where s is the displacement covered by the object here. Therefore, it can be written as ma is nothing but force and s is the displacement. Now, force into displacement is nothing but work done. That is, the change in kinetic energy is equivalent to the work done, as said in the definition here. The work done on a body is equal to the change in kinetic energy. So this is the work energy theorem, very important question here. Now coming to the law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So energy can neither be created nor destroyed. You cannot create energy or we cannot destroy the energy. But what happens is the energy transforms from one form to another form. It will be transforming from one form to another form. And the total energy in the universe remains constant. So this is the definition for law of conservation of energy, or law of conservation of energy, that is, which states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can be transformed from one form to another form, and the total energy in the universe always remains constant. It should be noted that the total energy in the universe remains constant. Now let us prove the law of conservation of energy in case of a freely falling body. Let us consider a body of mass m is freely falling from a height h, as shown in the figure here. So the body is falling from a height h from the ground here. So this is the ground here. This is the object at a height h, and the mass of the object, let it be m. So we will be finding its total energy at its initial point, that is before its travel, in between its travel, and before reaching the ground. So let us find out the total energy at point A, that is the initial point, at B, that is at the intermediate state or in the middle level, and at C, that is at the final stage before reaching the ground here. So let us first find out the energy, the total energy at point A. Since the body is freely falling, it has motion and it is at a height, it will have both potential energy as well as kinetic energy. So the total energy is the sum of potential as well as kinetic energies here. So at any point we will find out the total energy, that is the potential energy plus kinetic energy at this point, the potential energy plus kinetic energy at this point, the potential energy and kinetic energy at this point. So first let us start finding out the total energy at the initial point, that is before starting here. So at point A, it is at a height. Since it is a freely falling body, its initial velocity will be 0, and it is at height of h. Since it is at a height of h, the potential energy Pe is equal to mg into h, where mg is the force, that is the weight acting vertically downwards on the body, into h, that is the displacement. So potential energy is equal to mgh. Also, let us find the kinetic energy at point A. Since it is a freely falling body, its initial velocity is 0. Therefore, half mv square, where v is equal to 0, we will get kinetic energy is equal to 0. Therefore, the total energy is the sum of potential energy and the kinetic energy at that point. Therefore, Pe plus Ke. Pe is mgh plus 0. So the total energy at point A is mgh. Let it be equation 1. Now let us find out the total energy at point B. Now since at point B, it has traveled a distance with some velocity. It has traveled a distance of x. It has traveled a distance of x with some velocity. And it is at a height of h minus x from the ground. It is at a height of h minus x from the ground. Since h is the total height and it has traveled a distance x, the remaining height will be h minus x. So that is the height from the ground. Therefore, the potential energy at point B will be mg into h minus x, because that is the height from the ground. H minus x is the height of the object at point B from the ground. Therefore, the potential energy is equal to mgh minus mgx. Let us think that the body, since the body is freely falling, its initial velocity is equal to 0. Let the velocity at point B be u1. Let it be u1. Acceleration A, since it is freely falling, it will be equivalent to plus g, and the distance traveled by the object, that is AB, is x. Using these terms, we will find out the velocity of the object here using the equation v square minus u square is equal to 2as. So final velocity v is u1 here. So u1 square minus 0 square is equal to 2gx, or u1 square is equal to 2gx. Substituting the value of u1 square in the equation half mv square here, you will get half m u1 square. Since the velocity is u1 here, you will get half m u1 square, but u1 square value is equivalent to 2gx. So instead of u1 square, we will write 2gx here. 2 cancels and you will get mgx here. So at point B, the potential energy is mgh minus mgx and the kinetic energy is mgx. Therefore, the total energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. In this case, the potential energy at point B is mgh minus mgx, and kinetic energy at point B is mgx. So you will get mgh minus mgx plus mgx. These two will get cancelled and the total energy is mgh at point B. So we get the total energy at point A is mgh. Also, the total energy at point B is also mgh. Let it be equation 2. Let us find out the total energy at point C, that is just before stopping on the ground here. On the ground, at point C, the body is on the ground here. Therefore, its velocity is, its height is 0. Since it is on the ground, its height is 0. Therefore, the potential energy will be 0. Since mgh, potential energy is equal to mgh, and h is equal to 0, potential energy is equal to, will be 0 here. Let us find out. Let the final, since the body is freely falling, before reaching the ground C, it will attain the final velocity v here. Since it is a freely falling body, its initial velocity will be taken as a 0, acceleration is a plus g, and the total distance between A and C is the height h. Therefore, S is equal to h. Using these terms and substituting them in v square minus u square is equal to 2as, we will get v square minus 0 square is equal to 2gh, or v square is a 2gh. Substituting the v square value, that is a 2gh, in the kinetic energy equation here, we will get half m into 2g. Sorry, this should be h here. This is h here. So 2gh here, we will get mgh. Therefore, the total energy here again is potential energy plus kinetic energy. The total energy here is potential energy plus kinetic energy. At point C, the potential energy, since it is on the ground, the potential energy is 0, and the kinetic energy is mgh. Again, the total energy is mgh at point C. Now, let us see here. At point A, the total energy is in the form of potential energy. Since it is not moving, at point A, it is not moving, it is at rest, and it is at a height. All the energy is in the form of potential energy. Total energy is mgh. At point B, the total energy is equal to mgh, and at point C also the total energy is equivalent to mgh. But if you consider at point A, the total energy is in the form of potential energy at point A. At point B, it is the sum of potential energy plus kinetic energy, since it is in between in its travel. And at a point C, all the energy is in the form of kinetic energy. Therefore, while the body is traveling from point A to point C, the potential energy, all the potential energy is transformed into kinetic energy, which confirms the point that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It will be transformed from one form to another form. Therefore, at point A, the total energy is in the form of potential energy, which is transformed into kinetic energy at point C, which proves that law of conservation of energy is conserved in this case. Let us consider the law of conservation of energy in case of a simple pendulum. We all know that a simple pendulum oscillates about a mean position as shown in this figure here. This is the bob here, and it will be oscillating above the mean position with an angle theta here. So the velocity and the acceleration vectors will be like this as shown in the figure here. Now, what happens is, when the simple pendulum goes away from its mean position on both sides, when it is at the mean position, since it is at the ground state, since it has no height, the potential energy will be 0 and the kinetic energy will be maximum here. Since there is a kinetic energy is maximum here at the main point, the simple pendulum is oscillating, or it is going to left side or the right side here. Consider the body is at point B here. It is at point B here. It is at some height from the ground. The body from here, it stops here and travels towards the mean position. Since it stops at this point P, the velocity is 0. Therefore, the kinetic energy will be 0. Since it is at a height, it will all the energy will be in the form of potential energy. Likewise, here C also. Therefore, in a simple pendulum, if the simple pendulum is at the mean position, all the energy is in the form of kinetic energy. As it goes sideways, left or right, all that kinetic energy is converted into potential energy. In between these two, it will be sum of both potential as well as kinetic energies. Here in this case also, the energy is transforming from one form to another form here. At mean position, it is in the form of kinetic energy. At the extreme positions, it is in the form of potential energies. Therefore, it is said that the energy is conserved here. Therefore, this is also an example for law of conservation of energy. As shown in the previous slide here, you can also try the law of conservation of energy in case of a vertically projected body here. If you throw a body vertically upwards, at the starting position, in the middle position, and at the top position, you can calculate the total energy as shown here, like this here only. You can also find out that one. So that's the work, power and energy here. We have proved that law of conservation of energy in two cases here. One in the case of a freely falling body, and in case of a simple pendulum. Thank you for listening. And if you like the video, like it, and if you have any doubts, please comment in the below comment section. Comments are welcome here. Fair comments are welcome here. Thank you.